and
Teal.
You know what it is, man. You're locked in the Third and Teal where they keep it real. And if you don't know, you're going to learn today. Third and Teal, baby, and I'm out. Let's go.
Third and Teal.
It is. It is I. It is
It's
we.
real. You know where it's at, baby.
It is us.
Yeah, it's a good day to be in Jacksonville. And I'm not even in Jacksonville. So yeah, lots of cuts, lots of movement. It's this is something we hadn't seen in a long time. One thing I like about it right off rip here, hold on, skipping a step. How you doing, Trevor?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm loving life right now. I'm loving everything that's going on. I'm loving knowing grammar. Only some of you that'll see this eventually know why I'm saying that.
All right.
We love grammar. That's all.
Okay.
On to you, Isaiah. You continue, my boy. How are you? We never asked you. How are you, Isaiah?
Well, we know he's better than last time he was on. He was hacking and coughing last time.
Yeah.
So we know he's doing better.
Definitely doing better. I've moved. Clearly, you can see from the background.
Correct.
Right.
Got my shelf with my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 manga books on it. Couple of D&D books. My yearbook down there for when I went to the school down in Tampa. We got my sketchbooks. I draw, by the way. And got the cleaning supplies. Look at that shelf over there. That's full of cleaning supplies.
Amen.
Yeah, we got cleaning supplies. We got that shelf for free as long as they leave it here when they leave. The people who have helped for us that we're renting from, let us keep it. Got a laundry room. It's like $2,500 worth of washer and dryer in there that they left, and we're like, I'm not in love with it. Yeah, house is pretty nice.
So you decided to rent until purchasing?
So yeah, I'm renting until purchasing. We know the people who are doing it, and they were gracious enough to let us do that because the guy has a lot of stuff that takes a little while to get out of the shop out back. And so we're renting for 6 months until we are able to buy, which I actually just completed all of the steps for my mortgage plan today. So I should be well ready to buy by then. But Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing great because I'm out bowling tonight. So we ain't got the nonsense going on. I apologize, crew, for that. I was trying something, being dedicated, but it didn't work out right.
No, it worked out.
I didn't realize there was so much noise. But yeah, I'm doing good. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
So, yes.
First
yes, and for the new
I'd like to
Titan
say,
2 table, whatever.
oh God,
Screw y'all. Screw y'all. Screw
Yeah.
y'all.
that's right. Eric said so.
Yeah, I said so.
That's what it is. But hey, man, we asked for change. We all, as an entire fan base for months, was begging for change.
Right.
We got change, and even right now, we got change that feels uncomfortable, but it is ultimately the right thing to do.
Well, and I was thinking about that. I said, well, what they're doing right now makes sense because you got a new head coach, a new GM, basically a new coaching staff besides, the special teams. And usually when they come in, that's what happens. You clean house, you clean house. I really don't think any of us really have too much of an issue with who got released today, besides maybe Ingram. That really didn't sit well with me. Yeah. Got pissed off that Morse decided to retire. That pissed me off. Because I'm like, look, dude.
Just because the timing.
Yeah.
He had
right.
one more year left, bro. Yeah, one more year left on your deal. We could have We could have drafted somebody, gave him a little pointers for the year, and then rode off in the sunset. You fuck. But anyway,
Right.
I think some important things to look at here are the numbers. And I think this will put you guys in the head of Gladstone, because Gladstone decided to do this before he got any emotional ties to anyone, which I think was brilliant. He had no reason to be faithful to anyone. So he just came in and he freed up $25.62 million.
Yes. Yes.
Trading Christian Kirk saved us 10.5. Releasing Ingram 6.04. Releasing Josh Reynolds 4.26. Why were we paying that motherfucker that much? Jesus Christ.
We traded.
I was trying to figure that out
We
too.
traded for him. We didn't sign him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We did. We took on his deal. Sorry.
Yep.
Ronald Darby 2.44. Devin Duvernay 132,000. I think that one was more just like a performance-based release. I don't think that was about the money.
Yeah.
And then Mitch Morse, he retired obviously, but it saved us $2.25 million. So a total of 25.62 million for the cap that we saved this year, which now puts us up over 60 million in cap, which should mean, for all intents and purposes, with a young, aggressive front office like we have right now, we should be aggressive as hell in free agency.
Yeah, but let's put the brakes on that. We've tried that for so many years now.
I don't know. There's a couple bona fide dudes out there that we should pay. Like, let's talk about Mekhi Becton.
Okay.
Mekhi Becton's a free agent. He's not. Philly did not re-sign him. Philly just gave Bond a $51 million deal, and they extended Saquon Barkley to an ungodly contract.
Did he not get paid?
Oh, he got paid. And they're still. I think they're still working on something else there. Oh yeah, they're still working on something else over there. I don't remember which one it is. I have a friend of mine that's a big Eagles fan. We were talking about it today. Mekhi Becton is a great option. Carlton Davis, great option. Javon Holland, great option. Ronnie Stanley, still a good option. We know Trey Smith got a franchise tag, so you got to move on from him. But hell, Cooper Kupp, I know we were in talks with Cooper Kupp. I would not be mad if he's healthy to see Cooper Kupp here for a cheap deal. I would not be mad about that. Great serviceable player. He's still a freak. And then you got people like DK. DK wants out. What can we throw over there? Because DK is a dog. Certified. He's a dog. And then you look past DK. Even if DK's underwhelming, let's just say DK's not the guy you want. One of the best, most dominant pass rushers to touch the field in a long time wants to be on the move. There's plenty of things that can be done this offseason.
Yeah, I agree. But instead of DK, and I know a lot of people going to look at me like I'm crazy when I say this, I'd rather go and get Tyler Lockett. I really would.
I don't know. And the only reason I say that is because Tyler Lockett is older.
Yeah, but the problem is if we bring in DK, while he has probably 20 pounds on Brian Thomas Jr., they're very similar wide receivers.
Oh, I like the background, Duval. Sorry, say it again.
That's kind of my problem is like, you don't really want to like, not that we don't want to stack the roster with Brian Thomas Jr.'s, but like DK Metcalf is kind of a similar style, but he's less of a route runner.
That I agree with. I think he's just better at
and he wants like 30 million a year. Like he wants to be traded and sign an extension. He doesn't want to like get traded, play out his contract. Like he's asking for he's asking for like 30 mil.
He wants a deal now.
And that's too much.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Drew Dahlman is one I wanted to bring up. Somebody brought that up earlier. Curtis did, and I was looking at him, and he's really solid. Actually, he was like fifth or sixth in run blocking center from Atlanta. He's 26 years old, and they're projecting him as a pretty low contract. I think he was like 22nd in pass blocking, but he's still graded decent. Like and he's still got room to grow. But there's a couple guys in free agency that I wouldn't mind pursuing a little bit.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is like, I think freeing up all this cap space, the only thing you got to be cautious of is next year will be time to talk to Trayvon
Mm-hmm.
They're going to let Cisco test free agency first.
Yep.
They're going to let Cisco see what it looks like. Cisco's more than likely going to find out that no one's willing to bite as big as he wants. And then we'll probably do a deal then, maybe. Unless someone is just completely stupid and just throws a bag at him. But I'm not going to lie to you. I want to say this like right now. I will be pissed if we don't land some of the bigger names in this free agency. Not all of them, obviously. But we got to make one home run. We got to do something. You didn't just go through and cut all these damn people, make all this damn room to do nothing with it. And honestly, I think Gladstone is already, just by outward appearances, aggressive enough to show that he's going to do something.
Right.
So that being said, I would like to see a Cooper Kupp. I would like to see Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton would be on like the upper part of my list. Him and Stanley. I'd like to get them both. And Javon Holland. I want those three bad. Those three I really want.
Okay. Let's say we going only after two. Who are the two main ones you would like for us to sign?
Mekhi Becton and Ronnie Stanley.
Okay.
Because we know those guys can play on the offensive line. And that's the best way to almost immediately improve our offense.
So who do we kick inside and or move on from at that point?
See, now that's something that I think
Stanley's
I'd have to watch more. Yeah, I know. I think I'd have to watch more tape, honestly, to determine that. I'm not saying that I know the exact solution to place them at yet, like their exact alignment. But I know that for the way that it works so far, I mean, honestly, those two would be my priority. And maybe not even so much Stanley. Just I know Mekhi Becton. I would absolutely be making a very hard push for Mekhi Becton. And hell, honestly, and if at this point, if Bosa came at a cheap enough deal, fucking pick him up too. I'm not saying he's going to be cheap. He's not going to be super cheap or by any means, but like.
Well, he really hasn't played that well in the past couple of years, but also I think he's going to take a cheap deal to go play with his brother in San Francisco.
That's what I feel like the more likely outcome is. Yeah, I was talking about that today because San Francisco has no money. San Francisco has no fucking money.
Yep, and he really it'd be right down the street basically. Like it's just, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. But this is the NFL. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. I just don't think he's going to want to take a back seat role yet. Like I think he still is going to want to be a featured premier player.
I agree.
But he hasn't been healthy. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Has he?
He hasn't, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. See, and that's one of the things I'm looking at now. If you bring a free agent in, I need him healthy. I'm sorry. We're not paying you to play 3 or 4 games and then you out for 2 or 3 seasons, No, we're not doing that. That's over
Robert
with.
made a good point. He said sign Trayvon now as a 10-sack guy. That I agree with.
Yeah, I think we should sign him.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You sign him before he finds a way to break out. You hope that he does. Yeah, because that's where we fucked up with Josh. Really. Like, if we're being honest, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's where we fucked up with Josh. Josh had one massive year. We threw a bag at him, and then he does almost absolutely not shit this year on his own. So we should have, realistically, if we were going to pay him the cheaper deal the year before. Like, same thing that we're looking at now with Trayvon. We see the potential. We know that they're good players. Pay them while they're cheap. But he said, I'd rather have Will Campbell in the draft over Becton. Becton has a history of being hurt. What are you talking about? Are you talking about a Becton from the draft?
No, he's talking about the lineman, offensive lineman, same one you were talking about.
Well, yeah, but I don't see the correlation. Like, you can do both. Is what, like, you can still draft Will Campbell in the draft and then get Mekhi Becton for the other side, because we have weak sides. Like, our almost, we don't really have anyone that's certified at all at this point. Like, fuck, we thought Anton was going to be, and then he got obliterated this year. Like, and there's many factors that could go into that, but like, our whole line is bad. Like, we're talking about a whole line that is bad. Like, let's be honest. There's no one on our line that is a solid, like, that's certified untouchable. There's no one. There isn't one. So you could do both. I agree with Will Campbell. I want Will Campbell very bad. Like, after watching more tape on, I want Will Campbell pretty bad. I think we trade back and we take Will Campbell. That's what I'd like to do. But I think that all depends on what the board looks like at 5. I don't think we should pick at 5. I think no matter what, picking at 5 is not the right move for us. I think that we just need to hold out until 5. I think we need to hold out until 5 so we can put the pressure on maybe the Jets or something like that. Somebody that needs to hop up, you know. Maybe they want to beat out the Raiders or something like that. Just put the pressure on them. But I think you pick up Becton. I think you pick up Campbell. And I think they literally in their press conferences were talking about they got to rebuild the trenches. They've reiterated that on both sides of the ball.
Right.
That's a quick way to do it. And we can sit here and say we want to fix the offensive line, or we can sit here and fucking fix the offensive line. I mean, we're not going to get everybody, you know what I mean? Hold on one second. Right. Campbell and then double dip for Zabel. I do like Zabel. I like that. And he signed DB, signed CB, and safety. Trevor first. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Trevor first, for sure.
I understand what you're saying, Trevor. I really, really do. However, I think freeing up all this cap space we just did is telling us a lot. I think maybe we're gonna hit free agency maybe for 2 major players and probably be along the offensive line. And when it comes to the draft, the way I'm feeling right now, if T-Mac is there at 5, we take T-Mac. And that gives us our 2 outstanding wide receivers.
That I would agree with if they play it that way. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I think also, though, we got to remember, like, I want to know what safety they're going after if it's not Javon Holland. Because if they go after 2 Hallmark players, right, let's say they do it that way, and they go, it would have to be Ronnie Stanley and Mekhi Becton. Those are the 2 offensive linemen you target. Like, there's really not many other options other than the center from Atlanta. I'd like to target him too. So let's just say they do those 3, right? Because they're not projecting the center to make a lot of money. But let's just say they do that, right? That means you're not going to be able to drop a bag on Javon Holland. But Javon Holland's going to want a bag of money. No ifs, ands, or buts. And they've said this already, that they're going to address the safety position in free agency. They said that they might still draft one, but they did say they're trying to address safety in free agency. But they want Dewey to be a starter. Yeah, we should have just drafted Worm. Hey, Worm.
That's true.
Hey, Worm. But you know what? Dewey should be starting. I know he's not that flashy safety, but Dewey is always where he's supposed to be. 9 times out of 10, he's where he's supposed to be. And he's, for lack of a better word, I know everybody going to say Josh is or Lua Khan, but I think Dewey is the heartbeat of that defense. When he's out there, it's just a different vibe.
Yeah, when he's out there, he's definitely right. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be out there.
I think if nothing else, I'm not going to say that Dewey's a bona fide starter. I don't think I can say that. I think what I can say, though, is if we gave Antonio Johnson as many chances as we did, Dewey deserves 1 chance at least.
Yeah.
Dewey played hard enough, and he showed us. Yeah,
let's not forget, last year, there was this mysterious injury during training camp that we still never really found out what it was. That they kept holding him out. You know, they kept holding him out. But once he did get in, the back end did look a lot better than it had been for the majority of the season.
Facts. That's a fact.
So,
yeah, I mean, my thing about that, and I definitely agree with you. I 100% agree that it looked better whenever he came in. But it's not really saying much. I mean, it was terrible earlier in the season. We had one of the worst pass defenses all year long.
Right.
And honestly, I think part of Cisco's issue was he was out of position a decent bit this year. I'm not going to deny that. But I also think that he was having to make up for Darby a lot. on the back end, and then the linebackers not covering how they were supposed to. And he was just like, I mean, there were definitely times though where he absolutely was out of place, like trying to run up to the line and do all this different stuff. And
Right.
but like I think part of that was definitely him making up for the back end.
Right.
See,
Or
Robert,
not
that
back end.
is a good question. Robert just asked a good question, but there's two things we got to address real quick in the comments. So Duval asked if we
Okay.
were going to talk about Christian being traded in the division and how diabolical that is. It is diabolical on the sense of that's a division rival. It just tastes bad, right? It's a bad
Right.
taste in your mouth. It's just yucky. But when you think about it, we were going to just fucking release him. At
Yeah.
least
Mhm.
this way we got something. And
Right.
this way we saved $10 million versus $8 million to cut him. By trading him,
Right.
Houston agreed to take all of his salary. So we didn't have
Which
to pay
is
any,
wonderful.
we didn't have to
Right.
pay any cap hit.
$16 million now open.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
over 60 million after all the moves, by the way.
Mhm.
We are 7th in the league now in cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Duval, I can agree that I would have rather just released him, I guess, except for
No.
the point that, like,
Well, I mean,
he's hurt.
what
all year.
if I mean we release him, we lose out on $6 million, and then the Texans go and sign him for cheap, and then we don't get any picks. Like I get it. I hate the Texans too, but like I'm not gonna waste a draft pick. Like I'm not gonna miss out on a draft pick because and another $6 million in cap over trading him to the
Division
Texans when they could just sign him anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
They were
we
gonna
just
get
got
him
Ingram. Ingram could go fucking sign with the Texans. They need a more athletic tight end. And then we're in a spot where we got nothing for him. He signed with them. We still have to pay him money. I prefer it this way. Texans took on the brunt of his contract.
Yeah,
they
last
did want
year
him.
Pittsburgh, but
They
then he
did want
got
him
hurt
last year,
again
then he
this
got hurt
year.
again.
Yeah, I think they were having a hard time shopping him because he's become injury prone, which we've been talking about that for a while, which is why we thought Parker Washington was going to take the spotlight regardless.
Mhm.
So that being said, this is really just a culmination of what we thought was going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been predicting this. Yeah, it sucks that it was the Texans. That part really sucks because, first of all, everyone sitting here, including the guys in the comments by now, know I fucking hate the Texans. This is not a secret. I cannot stand those bastards. I fucking hate them. Okay? But Isaiah makes a good point. I'm not that scared of playing Christian Kirk once a year because that's probably the only game he'll be available for.
Thank you. Thank
And-
you.
But
I mean,
Christian
unless we
Kirk is
play
not
him back,
Tank
unless we play him back to back early in the season.
But
there's a
like
good
Duval,
chance
you
Kirk
got
won't be there.
Duval. I think the way you got to look at it, like the way I'm looking at it, at least, is like I was saying earlier. Gladstone's looking at this purely business. He has no emotional ties to anyone right now, so he's making the best. He's making the business decisions that are best for the team before he establishes relationships, which is the smartest thing he could do. In all honesty, it truly is. That's the best way to make an impartial decision. Just doing what's best. You have no ties to anyone. And honest to God, that is the best thing he could do.
Yep. And let's not forget that last year, before he got hurt, he was on his way to Pittsburgh. I'm talking about Kirk.
Robert
He
made
was on
another
his way
good
to
point.
Pittsburgh. So
Robert made another
Pittsburgh
good
was
point.
saying, okay, hold
He
on for a
said,
minute, Trevor. Hold on for a minute, Trevor.
Let
Hold
Eric
on.
go.
yeah,
Hold on for a minute.
God.
And what I'm saying is Pittsburgh was probably sitting back like, okay, release him. We got him. And then Houston jumped in because, Tank Taylor said, hey, we'll give you a 7 for him, and we'll take the whole contract. I mean, when you sitting there as a business looking at hey, that's a no-brainer right there. You let them go anyway. So as Isaiah said, let's get some capital. We got a draft choice that we probably could use for something else later. And yeah, he's in the division. I can't stand that either. That's one thing I always hate. But it made a little bit of sense here. It really did.
It
So,
did. But Robert said Jags have been rehabbing him. What if they know he's not right? That is a big thing to think about. Like, that's what I was about to say. That's the same reason he didn't go to Pittsburgh. He didn't go to Pittsburgh because the rehab process did not go how they were anticipating, and that scared Pittsburgh away.
Well,
no, he didn't go to Pittsburgh
He got hurt.
because he got hurt in the
right
game
before the deal.
Right.
Yeah, I know that.
Mhm,
But I'm saying
right.
they were still, from what I understood, they were still talking about it even after the injury in preliminary talks. it was obviously going to lessen the value of the deal. They still wanted him because it was anticipated that he was going to track back just fine, and it did not go that way. So, of course, we still ended up hanging on to him.
But we have a number 2. We got Gabe Davis.
Yeah, he's next out the door. Hopefully.
I mean, it won't be this year unless somebody trades for him and takes on a big bit of that contract. We can't afford to trade him. I mean, we technically can because of how much cap we have, but I'd rather just sit him on the fucking sideline and then get rid of him after next year.
I mean, yeah, because if you look at the free agency's wide receivers right now, yeah, he's nowhere in that echelon of the top ones anyway. So ain't nobody really gonna bite that apple at all.
Trade partners though. Let's think about teams.
That's the problem. I don't think anybody's going to take him unless we take on the whole contract anyways. So it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, unless we take on at least like 70% of the contract, I bet you no team wants to trade for him. Yeah. They might give us like an NBA trade, like a 2031 17th round pick.
Or the only team that may want him is the team we got him from, Buffalo. And right now, I don't think they even want him back.
I can tell you right now, they don't want him back.
Yeah, so we stuck with him for at least another year, I'm sure.
Yeah. But all that being said, though, Gladstone is doing what he needs to do, man. He's not looking at this through the eyes of relationship. He's looking at it through the eyes of business. Just let's get down to business. What does the team need? The team needs impact players. How do you get impact players? We need money. How do we get money? We cut people that are dead weight to us at this current time. I do agree, though, with you, Duval, that Ingram was not necessarily dead weight. We've all kind of said that in our own perspective. I think the best way that I would have preferred to handle that is a restructure of some sort. Restructure Kirk, maybe backdate some money, or just whatever you got to do. I do think we should have kept Ingram. I don't think we should have released him. I think we should have reworked the deal. But, I mean, it's not perfect for everything. But Robert's spamming in there about how Liam's schemes use big blocking tight ends and receivers. Ingram's not a huge blocking tight end. I mean, he will lay the block every now and then, but he's not.
I think I think he improved, but I think he's about at his cap. I don't think unless he puts on like 15 or 20 more pounds, I don't think he gets any better at blocking.
No. Yeah. And unfortunately, blocking is our fucking kryptonite. So I guess I think go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we got to. I mean, Farrell and Strange did an outstanding job blocking last year. So, I don't know.
Farrell is also a free agent, so we'd have to either re-sign Farrell or we have to. We only currently on the roster we only have Brenton Strange and Patrick Murtaugh, if I'm not mistaken. That's the guy we had signed last year, the international player that got hurt.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean he's a big dude, but like I mean it's that's part of it. It's like we really don't have anyone necessarily,
right?
That's the tough part. I don't know.
That makes 2 of us, 3 of us. I don't know. But go ahead, Trevor. What are you about to say?
I mean, Brenton Strange is it right now.
Yep.
That's why it doesn't make much sense to me to do that. And the only thing I can think of is maybe you reach out to Oakland, try to go from Mayer or something. Michael Mayer, because now that they got Brock Bowers, they don't necessarily need Mayer. Mayer's not a bad tight end. He's actually a really good tight end. They just got a generational tight end behind Bowers now.
But you think he's better than Ingram?
No, I don't think that he's better than Ingram. I think what they're trying to do at this point is just find people that are going to fit what Liam Cohen wants to run in his scheme. I don't think it was a talent level about Ingram. I think it was about a scheme fit issue. Strange is solid. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, I think Strange showed whenever we give him the opportunity, he can come in and play. Now, is he? I think he's closer to Evan Ingram as a pass catcher than Evan Ingram is to him as a run blocker. I mean, a pass blocker. I mean, I'll go that far. I think Strange is probably one of the best blockers in the league at tight end.
I agree with that.
I mean, it's tough to sit here and really like play the game of like, who's better? Is this guy better? Is that guy better? Yeah, I mean, that actually, and Robert, you bring that up, and I was actually about to mention that. The only reason I thought we were going to keep Evan Ingram is to use him in the Mike Evans role.
Yep.
Because they're pretty close in like 40 times size, weight, all that kind of stuff. It's like I was kind of thinking like, what's going to happen there? I thought they were going to keep him for that reason, but I mean, I guess not. I know it's been talked about in the past of using him more outside, and I know he's done that for us. But at the same time, I mean, I'm not really upset about it. What this does tell me though, and I'm gonna put this out there, and I will probably be wrong, but I've said crazier things before. This tells me that there is a real possibility that we trade back between 10 to 14 and take Tyler Warren. Do I think that's going to happen? No. Can it happen? And might it happen? I think so. Now, I know that Cohen, the big thing is that, we keep talking about how Cohen likes big blocking tight ends and blah, blah, blah. Like, I think Tyler Warren is probably the closest thing to Gronk, like fresh out of the draft, that we're going to see in a while. Only because I think he's a 6'5", 260. He runs like a 4.7 something. He's a great blocker. He can line up in the backfield. He can line up out wide. Good route runner. Solid hands. He played quarterback. Recently, previously, and then he transitioned to tight end in college. He's a great player. He's really good. But I think that's something we should keep our eyes and ears open for. So there's a good chance we could be taking the tight end, him, first round, or getting a guy like Ferguson. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, I can see that.
Gunnar Helm, something like that in like a little bit more middle rounds. But like that's something I wouldn't rule out is a potential trade back, pick up another third or a fourth or something, and like a pick next year, and getting Tyler Warren or another tight end.
I want to say to Curtis real quick before he hops out. You guys would have
Curtis
to
in
do
here?
a lot. Yeah. You guys would have to do a little bit more than finesse the cap, dude, because y'all are in some pretty bad cap, if I'm not mistaken.
What's
but
good, Curtis?
I hope Houston does not get Dowman. I hope Houston loses Laramie Tunsil to a fucking flu or something. I don't know. Fuck.
Look, Larry Tunsil ain't nothing but a turnstile anyway, so he can stay on the field. Hell.
Yeah, the Texans are currently negative.
Really?
The Texans are currently negative $739,000, basically $740. So they're gonna have to like redo the cap. They're basically actually, I think they already are including that. No, they're already including that. That's with Kirk being added. So that's spawn spot track. They've already considered that an official trade, so that he's already been added to that team, or at least they're preemptively adding him. So that's with Kirk. They are negative 740. Mitchell Evans slips in the draft. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of really big guys in this draft that are solid tight end wise. Some guys that are running 4.8 something, but they're good blockers. I think that again, it's something to look out for because getting rid of Ingram really opens up the doors. I don't really know of any, I don't even know who the free agent tight ends are going to be. I mean, that's kind of part of the problem too. Is like, I haven't heard or thought about any of them because I didn't think we'd be looking for one. Look at that. Okay, it's actually not too bad. The best one available, Evan Ingram.
We just let him go.
I'm just being an asshole.
It would be nice to see us. I'm not gonna lie. One thing that I could see being a possibility, I mentioned it to you guys earlier, I think, was like what the Eagles did a couple years back, where I can't remember the guy they did it with. Damn,
this tight end free agency is awful.
But they cut him. They cut him so they didn't have to pay his old contract, and then just brought him back.
Yeah. I mean, that used to be the way teams did things. But
Duval, I ain't gonna lie. That part, I'll be with you on that one. If Ingram signs with the Texans, I'm gonna snap with you.
Why? So he can play 3 games and then not play again the rest of the year? Like,
my
hamstring.
Well, You know, I look at it two ways. He can go play with him if he wants to, but we know how he plays. So, I mean, it weighs out a little bit. It gives us the advantage. We knows his weakness and his strengths, so we can play against that. You know what I mean? Same with Kirk. So, I mean, that's the way I usually look at it. Because at this point in their careers, they're not going to change too much or nothing. Just to scheme they in, but they still have the
Yeah.
tendencies that they're going to
Mainly,
do.
I think the main reason they're saying that, Duval, is because the last 2 years they really haven't been available for us very much.
I mean, they could be
Right.
completely healthy, but again, like, you know, we're over here talking about it before the season, like, oh, you know, Kirk got hurt last year. Like, this could be Parker Washington's year to step up, and we move on from Kirk. There's a chance he gets hurt again, and then he's having a season, and then he gets hurt again. And then Evan Ingram,
Yeah.
you know, pulls his hamstring in pregame warm up, so we don't see him for 6 weeks. Like,
Right.
you know, I don't know. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot to think about. There's always a chance, but there's also a chance too that he has a Christian McCaffrey style season where he has one good year, and then he's hurt every year again from then on and misses.
Yeah.
You know,
let's look at it this way. Let's look at it number-wise. In 2 seasons, right? 34 games. That's just the regular season, right? Kirk has only played 14 of them, so there's 20 games he missed in 2 years. And for the money we were paying him, no, it wasn't worth that. You know, and then you got to think a knee and a collarbone. So those are injuries. They take a while to heal. I don't care what nobody say. So, and we got a new GM, new coach. So, hey, let's cut it right here and keep it moving.
Well, you brought up Chris Godwin and the Philly guy, Mekhi Becton. They do both have injuries on their reports. Like, they've been hurt before. And Chris Godwin did just sustain an injury last year. But Chris Godwin is by no means injury prone. I would say at this point, Christian Kirk is absolutely injury prone. At this point, he is injury prone. He has not been healthy for a full season in over 2 years. He's injury prone. And then Mekhi Becton, as far as I'm aware, Mekhi Becton's only been hurt once, and he went right back to playing at a high level when he came back.
I think he got hurt 2 or 3 seasons in a row with the Jets. I'm not super high on Mekhi Becton.
I'm talking about since he got to Philly. No,
Wait, hold
Duval,
on,
it's not about
hold on,
the injuries that
hold on.
injuries.
Hold on, gentlemen.
Let Eric cook.
Okay, brother.
Because see, we're saying something here, right? But we have to have that same energy somewhere else. Because what if Trevor gets hurt again this year? Are we gonna have the same energy with him as in he's injury prone?
Yes and no.
Let's think about it.
Hold on. Well, here, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Kirk. Kirk's injuries are different. Kirk got fucking turf toe in the preseason and then pulled a muscle again and then came back again and broke his fucking collarbone. That's 3 injuries in the same fucking season. Bro is made of glass now. That's injury prone. Every time he touches the field, he's sustaining a new injury. Trevor got bulldozed and ran over and then fucking hit with a Mack truck and then played through more injuries.
I understand you, but isn't that still an injury though?
No,
in the last 2 years,
it's the only thing you can count the same style of injury is the collarbone. That was an impact injury. The rest of the injuries were just self-sustaining injuries, like Trevor's high ankle sprain. That's from, I'm not even gonna say his fucking name, stepping right on his goddamn ankle. Okay, that was caused by another player. That's impact. That's an impact injury. His fucking shoulder, that's an impact injury. The concussion, that's also an impact injury. These are impact injuries from lack of protection for the quarterback, which is what fucking happens when you take a shitload of impact. Which is why I don't hold the collarbone against Christian Kirk. I don't hold that against him. But like when he pulled his fucking groin, he just went up for a catch. No one even touched him. When he got turf toe, bro was just running around doing pre-field. Like he's getting hurt on normal run-of-the-mill shit now. That is the difference between injury prone and having injuries. Like again, I don't blame him for his collarbone. I understand that one. I mean, contact, you landed on it.
Let me tell you. No, go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because I hear what we're saying and how we're saying it. So I want to make sure there's a clear definition of the difference between Trevor being injured the last 2 seasons and Kirk being injured the last 2 seasons, and the way we're discussing it.
Yep, absolutely there is. There absolutely is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying?
And I think Duval just said he even got what we were talking about. Yeah, because like even Duval was saying, because Duval made the same point you did, Eric. He said if that's the case, then Trevor Lawrence is injury prone, and Kirk has not had any major injuries. I mean, it wasn't like the injuries themselves were major, but the time missed was what made it major. Like the fact that he's not recovering as quickly anymore. Like the groin, he pulled his groin, or it was a groin tear. Bro's gone the rest of the season and wasn't healthy until like midway through the off season, and then like his turf toe, or it wasn't. I keep calling it turf toe. That wasn't what it was. I think it was something else, or was it turf toe? It was something he got in the preseason. Like he hurt himself in the preseason this year, and then didn't come back. He started week 1, and then he ended up getting hurt again. But like the toe, nothing even happened. Nothing even happened, bro. Nothing even happened to you. It's just, I don't know. It just, like I said, he just seems to accumulate injuries now on standard plays that normally wouldn't cause injuries, is what I'm saying. His body's not bouncing back like it used to. And I think that's why we've already, even before the day of talking about Christian Kirk being released or traded, we were already considering the possibility of Parker Washington coming in now.
Right.
But the thing that
discussed all last year.
Right. And the thing that the thing that Ingram that he brings up that he's right about with Ingram is like we don't need to be taking talent away from the team. I do think Ingram still had a lot to offer. But if Ingram does come back with another muscular fucking injury out of nowhere, he's hopping on the fucking injury prone train too. Because that's the last 2 that he sustained that were on regular ass. He hurt himself in pregame. And again, he said he had hamstring tightness. That's what we were told. And then bro was gone for 6 fucking weeks, dude. 6 weeks. 6 weeks. That was insane. Which, again, I'm not necessarily saying he is injury prone. I'm saying if it continued, he would hop on that. But I think what Duval also asked was, what does Houston see in Kirk? I think they just saw that they don't have Tank Dell again this year.
Exactly.
I think that they just saw that they're not getting Stephon Diggs back because they can't fucking afford it. I think that they saw that they just need somebody. Anybody.
Yeah, I mean, for me, a big thing here about everything is I have not played football in a long time. And I don't work out very regularly. And I don't have the greatest trainers in the world working on me every day, giving me supplements and doing all that other stuff. And last year, I pulled both hamstrings playing softball, and I was playing the whole time, which of course is different. But then, like after like 3 weeks, I was fully healed, and I played through the whole thing, and even practiced a couple of times. Like, not saying it's the same thing, but you have all this medical equipment and all these crazy things. And then today I go out. By the way, I played great today, just so y'all know. 2 touchdowns. But
my brother.
So I was playing like a Tampa 2 middle linebacker, and I was dropping back, and they threw the ball up, and I saw him staring them down. So I turned and I was booking it, doing a little this action, you know what I mean? And I was running, dude. I jumped up. Now let me tell you, I jumped up full extension. I probably went 30 yards. Jumped up full extension. Got my hand on the ball up there, and I had it. And the dude like reached up and grabbed it too, and he knocked it out. So but I got a breakup. But I did that twice.
TBU, baby.
You're telling me I can go out there 260 pounds, play safety, not hurt myself, and these guys get paid millions of dollars with the best doctors in the world can't stay on the field?
And that's another thing.
Hell
when you think about it, that's a great point because Evan Ingram's not that much older than us. He's older than us, but he's not that damn much older than us.
Evan Ingram's
30. Yeah, which is only 7 years older than me and you. I mean,
shut up.
I mean,
yeah,
that's crazy that we're getting that close.
Actually, he'll be 31 at start of next season. That's pretty old for a tight end, unless you're
in the league, it's old. But when you say about this,
31,
right?
31.
He said,
not everybody's Antonio Gates or Mercedes Lewis and can play.
That's a fact, bro. You just can't play with father time like those guys can. He's like, he said, either Houston is extremely wrong about Christian or we are. Well, here's the bright side, Duval. I'll give you something like to console you with a little bit. Even if we were wrong, we know what we have in Parker Washington, which is a certified fucking dog. So,
Thanks.
Even if we were wrong, we were either going to waste Parker Washington or we were going to use him. So no matter which way you look at it, we're in good hands. I've got the utmost faith in Parker Washington, especially after what he did last year. When he came in after injury and was just a fucking dog, dude. Hanging on to all the tough pitches, constantly open for first downs. Like, that guy's a dog. And I'm completely confident.
Don't forget the return, the kickoff return for the touchdown. And he's still on a rookie deal. So he's cheaper,
Robert, you're a dog.
Younger. Huh?
You're a dog,
Robert's
Robert.
a dog.
That's all that is.
Robert's a dog.
Oh, yeah.
Robert said he's 54 and can outmaneuver his 8-9-year-old grandkids at tag. You're a dog. That's just all that means. You're a dog.
Hell, I'm plus 60 and I can do that. So, I mean, really?
Eric was moving.
Eric,
we got
you're a
Eric on
dog.
the field. We got Eric on the field, bro, and he was moving. We even did the weightlifting. We was deadlifting on the field. Yeah, Eric's a dog, certified.
Yeah.
But I'll say this.
I'm still going to do the 40, though.
See, Duval, like now you're even bringing up even more reason to let Parker shine. Parker's got the franchise record for the best return that he hit in England. Like, that's even furthermore reason that it should be his time to shine. He's done his time. He played his role. It's his turn. I completely believe it's his turn.
Yeah.
Because he did when we needed him to do it. It's his time.
Right. I think if he hadn't shown that last year, then maybe we still keep Kirk and take another chance. But with him showing that last season, it actually made Kirk available. We could. Which I think that was the plan the whole time. Yeah, I think that was the plan the whole time anyway.
Yeah. I think we called that in off season. That was one of our most like I still remember making that short to this day. Because it's the short that we got the most flack for was the fact that we talked about Washington replacing Kirk. We've been calling this since the preseason last year, where we said, regardless of how Kirk's season goes, Washington will see more time this year. And if he shows them what they're looking for, he will take that spot. We've said this from the start. Unfortunately, it came at the expense of Kirk being out the rest of the season. We didn't want to see that. But regardless, what we thought was going to happen happened. And now here we are. And then it just came down to, is it unfortunate that it was the Texans? Yes. But it just came down to we can either get nothing or we can get something for him. And we got something for him. And I think the reason they went with that was not even for the fucking draft pick. I don't think it was for the draft pick at all. It was literally just so they could call it a trade so that Houston took on the whole contract. Because it saved us an extra $2 million. Like, that's all that was.
Which is big. Which is huge.
Big. It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge because that's the difference between bringing in a depth player at corner or maybe potentially a safety on a 1-year prove-it deal.
It saved us $6 million.
$6 more million?
Yeah, because it was so instead of paying him 10 mil, or instead of saving 10 mil, we save 16 mil now.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're now at right around $60 million in cap, which is great for us. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. I think.
You know what I'm excited for next week when we actually sign free agents. So because I think whoever we sign in free, I think I said this earlier in the show, is going to determine where our draft picks go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, we're guesstimating now basically, but next week I think we'll get a clearer picture of what this new regime is doing or trying to do, and the direction they're heading. And I think
so far we've been spot on though, guys. I think because we said off rip that they were going to be aggressive, and I'll be damned if they didn't show you today that they are willing to be aggressive. I don't know what's going to show you. Because you don't come in and cut household 4, 5.
Yeah. What, 5? They cut 5 people today, 1 retirement. So, I mean, all in one day, man. I mean, really.
The only thing we're going to see with this free agency is which side they want to prioritize with what. Because we know they're attacking the line, and we know they're attacking the secondary.
Right.
And we know that they're going to at least get one more playmaker on offense. So, those things being said, I think honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think we're going to be in the market for Miles, obviously, because I just don't see a way that we can make that happen.
No, Miles is going to demand too much money. This is that simple,
Now,
And he at that point now where he wants a ring anyway. So let him go.
I
'Cause
think
we're not there yet.
I do think we'll talk with people about DK. Whether we hear about it or not depends on how far it goes. I think they'll look into it, and the reason I think they'll look into it is just the simple fact of even if he is the same thing as BTJ, you can't double cover both of them. You got to pick one.
Yeah,
You ain't got enough players on the field to double team everybody.
but Trevor still got to develop that chemistry with BTJ even more. But
Agreed.
that's why I say bring Lockett in. Because Lockett.
That's perfect. That what you're saying, you just click the light bulb, and then also what Duval said, just click the light bulb. I ain't finna hold you. That just blew my mind that we completely forgot to mention this guy, Devontae Adams. Bro, we completely forgot to mention that, and that's one we need to be talking about.
How much will he ask for, though?
That's what's going to be the question, but I'm not going to lie to you. Even if Devontae Adams asked for $20 million at this point, I'd still give him $20 million because he's
$20 million is not bad. I mean, for a wide receiver his caliber with his
what I'm saying.
Experience.
If he walks in the door and says, "I want $20 million," I'm throwing him $20 million right now.
That does solve a big problem. That does solve a big issue.
I think the hard part, though, with that is, one, will he want to play in Jacksonville? But also, two, is he just going to follow Aaron Rodgers if he ends up somewhere? If Aaron Rodgers ends up somewhere? Or, what's he going to do if Rodgers – is he going to wait for Rodgers to sign or not sign first?
Yeah, that's something he could do.
Okay, this is what I would do. Mm-hmm. If I was a GM and I signed Rodgers, after what just happened in New York, Rodgers ain't making no calls no more. If I'm a GM, I'm making the calls. I'm not bringing all these cats in for you to wake up the next day and say, well, I might retire, but I got all this salary cap I got to deal with because I done brought in everybody you asked me to. You know what I mean? No, I'm not doing that anymore. Now, if he want to follow Rodgers, fine. But I think this right now in his career, yeah, he was better off in Oakland where he really was, or in Vegas, whatever they want to call him. I'm old school, Oakland. So the Raiders. But he did enough. Yeah, if he's gonna come in $20 million, yeah, we give him $20 million. We give that to him. To mentor and teach BTJ at the same time.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
Woo. Dude,
hell yeah.
The animal.
That'd be considered a bargain. It really would be. Mm-hmm. Just the knowledge alone that he can share.
I think that Devontae knows Aaron's time's up.
I think Aaron knows his time is up. He just don't want to stop. But I think he knows. There's no team Aaron Rodgers can go to right now and he take them to the Super Bowl this year. There's not. I'm sorry, I can't see it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has been all that for a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless, though, I think paying Rodgers would be better than what we did with Ridley.
You mean
Adams? Well, not Rodgers. Adams, sorry. Yeah. I think paying Adams would be better than what we did with Ridley. And you imagine, I agree. You got a dog like Adams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got a dog like Adams mentoring Brian, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. Not only Brian, but the rest of the young receivers on the team too. You know what I mean? Oh man. Yes.
Yeah. And then you think about this. If he only asked for 20, you could still afford to go out and get a guy like Becton if you wanted. You could get a Ronnie Stanley if you wanted. You could still go out and get people like Javon Holland if you wanted. Or if you wanted to double dip, you could still get Coop and goddamn Metcalf and throw them all on the fucking field at the same time and sit everybody else. That's not going to happen, obviously, but you could do it. You just build you could build the fucking infinity stones of receivers on the field and just start fucking running shit, doing whatever the fuck we want. Because what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't double cover everybody, my boy. You can't.
That is a true point.
You got to pick your.
That's
That's what Philly does with everybody, bro. That's why Philly wins, and it looks so fucking stupid because they call the same plays every time. 2 runs and then a deep bomb to AJ Brown on the sideline and one-on-one coverage, or a 20-yard in route to Devontae Smith. And the reason that fucking works is you can't double both of them.
Okay, so how do we address backup quarterback?
I don't really give a shit that much, to be honest with you, because we've seen last year, if last year taught us anything, at one point in time, Mac Jones was the rookie of the year. Okay. If we've seen anything, it's that if Trevor goes down, we are cooked.
I think we take one in the draft, probably 4th, 5th round.
Bring Shador in and let him sit behind Trevor.
Fuck
no.
Fuck no. Take that drama all the way to Las Vegas. That motherfucker can go sit somewhere over there.
Okay, y'all. I was joking with that one. Okay.
I know you were, but
there's no way.
You can't joke like that, man.
No.
That's a crime in some areas, Eric.
No, I can't. I can't even see that. Him and Travis, yeah, they all right. Let them go wherever they going. We don't need that. We don't.
But I will say, boys, it's oh man, what we're doing right now is like these are uncharted waters, man. Robert feels the same way we do. He said, "Gabe better not see the field unless it's a run play. He can barely do that. That's a fact, dude." I just can't get over dropping 3 touchdowns in one fucking game, dude. Hitting you in the face and in the chest and in the basket, dude. Fuck you, bro.
That was on the same drive, wasn't it?
2 of them were. 2 of them were the same drive, yeah. And then he went back to the bench, had some time to think about it, and dropped another one. Yeah. You know somebody that I wish would stop having blind loyalty to a fucking team, though? Me and a guy at the academy were talking about this today. Is Buda Baker, bro. I wish Buda Baker would just tell the Cardinals to go fuck themselves because they are ass and go be the star that he actually is somewhere else.
Yeah. He's like the forgotten guy down in Arizona now, though. He's been there so long, nobody really thinks about him.
And that's what's crazy is because he's still a dog. That's what's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro. He really is him. You know, another guy I want to talk to you guys about this. I want to get your opinion. It's very unlikely because this guy has already said his destination that he wants to go to after this, but no guarantee that he goes there. But Darius Slay. So Darius Slay is old. We know this. No, just hear me out. Okay. We know that we know that Darius Slay is old. We know that he was just released and he's not going to be expensive. I don't want him to be a starter. I want him to make Jarian Jones a motherfucking stud. Because Jarian Jones is already a stud, but I want him to make him like him. And big play Slay, even if he ain't got the gas left in the tank, it's all still in the brain, bro. You could tell he's still a smart, savvy player. He was still a lockdown corner last year, not because of his own physical ability, but because he knew how to lean on the players that he could. He knew how to use the defense to his advantage, which shows he's still sharp here. It's still here.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, and it's cheap enough, like hell yeah, I want a Darius Slay. And the reason I want a Darius Slay is because Darius Slay has said he wants to play another year at least. Okay, bro, just come in, have yourself a good time. You just won you a Super Bowl ring, so you're not pressed for a ring. Just come on in, chill out. And mentor the fuck out of Tyson Campbell and Jarian, DeAndre. Like, give these young boys some knowledge. There ain't no fixing Monteric. I think he's just broken. But you mentor my dogs. You know, help build them up.
You gonna leave Buster alone, okay?
Buster ain't do nothing to you, Trevor.
Yeah,
he did. He busted all that. Buster rose my damn blood pressure. Nah, he rose my damn blood pressure, bro. Buster put me in stroke range.
You can't
He
blame
wasn't no Darby.
No, Darby, damn near, bro. I was going blind watching Darby. Let
You gonna
go,
say,
man.
I mean, the thing about it though is, at the end of the day, you know, it again. My question is Tyson Campbell not able to play both sides, or
That's
did our
something I
Well,
previous
deserve the answer to.
did our
I think
previous?
we're about to find out.
Yeah, because
I
my
think we're
thing
about to
is
find out.
Tyson Campbell, since he was drafted here, has played on the left side. Well, left side if you're on offense, right side if you're on defense. He has always
Right.
played that side.
Yeah, he
every
never
single
moves.
time.
And
And like he
talked
doesn't
about that.
follow anyone. He doesn't like so. I mean, I that's my thing about Buster is like, sure, you know,
I
Buster
agree,
didn't
Robert.
play too well, but like he wasn't out there getting burned by scrubs. Really, I mean, it was mainly like, I mean, he's going against Devontae Adams. He's going against all these different guys that like he should never be covering anyways. And it's like, yeah, I feel bad for him out there. He's getting fucking bullied out there by dudes that are making 50 times what he's making because they're the best in the game.
Yeah,
And then he's out there like he's like, "Hey, I'm here, guys."
He
Like
was
I
always
arrived.
mismatched. That's one thing. If I give Buster anything, is 90% of his just blown ass, busted ass plays, he was just altogether mismatched. He should never have been on the guy that he was on, and that's true. But also, I'm talking. The thing that drives me nuts about Buster though is the plays where like bro is not even looking the right fucking way, and shit's happening right under his motherfucking nose, and he's just standing there. I hate. No, I don't even want to.
Okay. All right. So I understand what you're saying, Trevor, because I'd have said the same thing. But we have to understand the circumstance of the defense last year, where half of them didn't know what they were doing, half knew what they were doing, half didn't know they were doing. So either way, we, just like we give Trevor an alibi for the Urban Meyer thing, maybe we just need to give Buster an alibi because year before he played pretty decent. He really did.
They give Buster a multi-year coverage alibi now.
We're not. Look, man, Buster was all right. He did have his moments. Get me wrong, but
he had some.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, he was no worse than Cisco, right?
He was much better than Darby. That's who he's much better.
He was much better than Darby. I think Robert has
Antonio Johnson. Antonio Johnson. Go ahead.
I think
I can't see the chat.
Point. He said that Prince can be better than Buster.
Prince will be better.
And that's what bothers me though, is like I think what we're looking at though is we really need the answer to what Isaiah is talking about though, is why the fuck isn't Tyson ever moved to follow the one? He's never moved to follow him, and we'll never get to see what DeAndre can be or truly what even Buster can be until that happens, because we got to have our one on their one. Otherwise, they're just going to get made to look like shit and bullied all year. And then Jarian, I'm not worried about Jarian. I ain't going to lie.
The defenses we run don't require our one to cover their one.
No, but that's the thing. We're making hybrid defenses just so it doesn't happen. Remember, we pointed out multiple times where we got people that are running man and other people running zone. And we're like, what the fuck are you doing? And you're doing it, and then you find out. And then when you look, you keep watching tape, and the only consistent piece is that Tyson Campbell never moves. You can't help but wonder, is it because of Tyson Campbell? Like, what is happening here? And then, even then,
I mean, not to say he can't play, he probably can't play on the left side, but that right side is probably his strongest side, and they just leave him over there, just because.
Well, that's the sad part, though. I don't want you as my one if you can only play one side of the fucking field.
But now think about it. If we get somebody that's good enough just to play the left side, it's not an issue any longer. The only reason why it's an issue now. Yeah, the only reason why it's an issue now because we ain't got nobody on the other side.
Yeah. Well, Robert just said you better have two corners that can cover teams that have two number ones. No, you're right about that, Robert. I think, but the point we're more so making is like teams quickly figure out that Tyson never flips field, so they just line their one up on the other side and bully Buster and Prince the whole game. And it's retarded that no one has picked up on that and no one did any fucking thing about it. So that being said, that's why we want to know, like, what the fuck is it with Tyson? Why is Tyson not touching the other side of the field? Because for me, bro, like I said, I'm not going to lie. I am not concerned about Jarian Jones at all. He's a dog. I'm not worried about Jarian. Jarian is a dog. And I think that with time, Jarian's going to do nothing but get better. I think that Prince, I don't really know what we got in Prince. I do think he has a higher ceiling than Buster. But we don't even know what we got in him. We barely got to see him. Buster, we've seen the same thing from him for at least 2 years now. And we don't know. I'm willing to say one more year on Buster, bro. One more year under a different coaching staff. But if you still look like a lost fucking idiot, then you just a lost fucking idiot, and there ain't no excuses for you.
Well, also, too, though, I mean, hopefully, even with the new regime, I mean, hopefully we don't have to have him like lining up against ones because somebody gets hurt and blah, blah, blah. Hopefully he can actually just be a rotational player. Because the rotational player, he's fine. Like, he doesn't have any major issues that are like, I would never want to actually see him on the field. Like, as a rotational guy, give a guy a break every couple, play. Like, okay, cool. But like, my thing is, whenever you're putting him in there constantly against these dudes that are way better than him, and he has to play out there, he was never expected to really be a starter in the league. He was what, a 5th, 6th round pick, 7th round pick?
Yeah, and
like,
that's what I said last year. Yeah,
you know, it's like he's doing. I would say Buster's doing very well for what he is versus what he's going up against. Honestly,
now that I agree with. I've been saying that for a long time. I did say that I just don't think he's a starter, but for some reason we keep trying to play him like he's a starter. If I'm not mistaken, I said those exact words. Huh? Well, that's the same problem.
The starter Darby was allowing a 125 rating in coverage. Darby was like two drop balls away from being caught from having a perfect passer rating.
And what sucks about it too, though, is the fact that Antonio Johnson also turned out to be ass last year, like simultaneously at the same time. Because the only other solution I'm not saying there was any solution last year specifically for the Monteric situation, because there wasn't. We were just at that point, we're just too shorthanded for competent people. But when you look at the way that the safety position played out, Antonio was just shit. And then we have to put Savage there because Dewey's still hurt instead of playing Savage at the nickel like we wanted to. So we would have somebody to move over there. We didn't have any fucking body. So
that's true.
Yeah.
And the scheme didn't help either. And that's the other thing. The scheme did not help at all.
If we even had one.
I was going to say, I don't even think we have one. I think he was just saying, go do football stuff.
Say, go and do Isaiah stuff. Just go back there and run as far as you can.
And then jump high.
I was not a part of the equation. I said I jumped as high as I could. That doesn't mean I jumped very high.
Oh.
There's a difference between jumping high and Isaiah jump. I think the most I ever got on a vertical was like 28.9 or something like that, like 27.9, 28.9. I did not have a high vertical. I got decently long arms though, so I got okay reach, but no. Jump high has never been something someone said about me to describe it.
Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. I got that. Oh, Lord. That is funny. And I was watching flag football today, because they had it on the NFL Network. And I got mad, man. I'm going to tell you why. Because when I played, it was physical. Now I've been looking at these cats like, this is too easy. It's way too easy. Okay. Because back in my day, we was dragging them out of bounds and in a cloud of dust. And yeah, we were laying licks on you. Come across the middle if you want to. Yeah, but I understand. Generation got a little softer, so they worry about hurting themselves. So, yeah. Not saying you soft, Isaiah, but I'm just saying the sport itself.
Yeah, you'll have
that.
No,
anyway. Say what, Trevor?
You'll have that on these weaker jobs. He said if they did Isaiah stuff, they wouldn't pull hamstrings.
Hey,
Damn.
I don't know. Honestly, I started feeling it in one of my legs tonight, and I kind of just like stretched a little bit more, and I was good. It's crazy what a little stretch will do.
You're right.
I went quad to quad with somebody. They tried to get in my way. Like they stepped in front of me, and I was going into the end zone, and like in like a good step where like he was like on the ball of his foot, and I was on the ball of my foot, like running at him, and we went like quad to quad, and that, let me tell you, that hurt a little bit. Like it wasn't like a pain. It was more like a discomfort, and I could feel it. Like I could tell something just hit my leg for like a little while after. But luckily, we went right into halftime right after. And I scored that damn touchdown too. But it was just funny. Like, you know, it was if you know, they'd be a little tougher if they're like me. I still played in my flag football game that is a work oriented one where let me tell you, I caught a ball. I had 20 yards of like no one near me, probably 15. This dude that like subbed in for them from another team that was playing the game after, I mean, he hawked my ass down. And I was like, dude, I said, you're not supposed to be that fast. What's going on? He goes, well, I wasn't even running full speed. I said, I could tell because you look like you were fucking jogging. He got my ass. And we got some athletes out there, man.
You saying you slow, Isaiah. You saying you slow, Isaiah.
No. I am slow. But he was fast.
Okay.
But, I don't know. I ain't got much else for this one. It's getting pretty late. And I got a full day of moving shit and painting and all sorts of stuff tomorrow for this damn house. I'm over it.
All I'm gonna say is our dog Isaiah was scoring touchdowns on them goofies.
Hey,
yeah,
goofies.
2 TDs out of 4.
Yeah,
baby.
I can't play now because I get a penalty every play because I be wanting to hit somebody.
No, I caught one. I caught one over the middle. And a dude like was running towards me, and like I instinctively, like I had the ball in my left hand, I instinctively like went like this, and I was like, I literally stopped running. I like stopped in place and was like, "Fuck, I can't stiff arm." And he's like, "Oh, flag guarding," and like, they just weren't listening to him. And they finally were like, "Oh, okay, flag guarding." I'm like, "Yeah, like I wasn't trying to hide it, but I wasn't going to like tell y'all if you ain't gonna take the stuff from us."
And that's the crazy part because it's instinctive. It's instinctive when you do that.
Like, I didn't even think about it. I straight up, I had the ball here with my left hand and my right hand. I didn't even think about it. I turned a little bit and went like that.
Right. Exactly.
And then I literally stopped in place and I said, "Oh shit, I can't stiff arm." And like that, because I was about to like what happened as I went back like this and I was about to get him with a stiff arm, but then I realized it too late, so I kind of like dropped my hand, and that's when I hit his hand. He got my flag anyways, but.
We need some film, man. We need some film.
I'll get my fiance to take a video next time. Yeah. I wish she would have though, because I got up there.
He said I was cooking this time. I ain't been allowed.
Yeah. You notice he keep throwing that hand up like, I was up there.
I was so like angled and like up there like it's full extension. When I came down, I like barely got the heel of my foot and hit the ground and like rolled out of it. And my fiance was like, "Oh, like you were doing flips and stuff on the ground." I was like, "Would you rather me just slam my fucking head on the ground and got some like?" All
right, that's crazy. It's been a good one though. Let's wrap this bit.
Let's go.
Yeah. Thank y'all for joining us in the chat.
Duval! I did it right this time, Eric. I wasn't going to.
All right, so thank you. Subscribe, follow.
Shout out Worm.
Hey, hang out with us.
Shout out Worm.
Worm.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for coming out, guys. Duval.
He